Ben is a Democrat. Don't stone him. Ben is an attorney who I met a couple years ago at the beginning of lockdown. He's an attorney. He's absolutely anti-mandate, anti-government overreach, anti-anything that we're anti. He is an attorney who wore a shirt to work every day that said F Cuomo, and he also planned a small business rally in the square down in Buffalo where we were attacked by Antifa. But he's a lawyer and an activist who chose to get involved in freedom and politics when the lockdown started, organized a small business rally in Buffalo in 2020 to bring attention to the destruction of businesses by a despotic government. His rally caught the attention of Antifa. They showed up with weapons looking for a fight. The Patriots and Ben did not give in. Ben decided to run as a Democrat in Buffalo's mayoral race with one goal in mind: to make sure socialist India Walton did not win. And he succeeded. He didn't win, but he took votes away from her and exposed her for what she is. He is now running and primarying Sean Ryan for Senate, and he takes his lumps but keeps on ticking. Let's give it up for Ben! He's a dirty Democrat.
First, I have to thank Nancy for introducing me and for inviting me to come here today. It's my pleasure. I can't really get that in there. And I'm going to be very brief because I'm nowhere going to top what Dr. Paul Alexander just shared with you all, so I'll be very brief. The last time I spoke to a group of Republicans, I thought I gave a pretty decent speech, and someone came up to me afterwards and said, you know, I just loved what you had to say, and I hate that Sean Ryan, and I hope you kick his pants. And I said, thank you very much. And then I said, well, where do you live? And she lived in my district. And I said, oh, that's awesome. You know, after I win the primary, you can vote for me in the general. And she goes, oh, no, I couldn't do that. And I said, well, why? She goes, well, because you're a Democrat. And, you know, I get it. The Democrats have tarnished their reputation in the last couple of years. I don't blame people for just blindly saying, you know what, I'm not going to vote for a Democrat. But I always tell people, if the only thing you know about me is that I'm a Democrat, you don't know much about me. Yep. I think it's really, really time that we start doing a little more investigation into our elected leaders to find out if they've got that R, do they stand for what you want them to stand for? If they have that D, are they necessarily horrible people? We've got to start focusing more on the person. Stop worrying so much about party affiliation. As Senator Borrello said earlier, don't just pay attention to who's here today. Also look around and see who's not here today. You know who's not here today? The Republican who I'm going to beat in November. He's not here today. Guess who wasn't there in December of 2020 when we were freezing our butts off in Niagara Square? The Republican who I'm going to beat in November. And people ask me, well, you know, I kind of believe what you're saying, but you're a Democrat, and how do I know that when you get to Albany, you're not going to just revert back and you're going to just be a dirty Democrat? Well, here's the deal. Someone who can't be here today, who would absolutely love to be here today, is my wife. The reason my wife can't be here today, she's an ER doctor. She declined the vaccine for personal, medical, and religious reasons, so she can't work in New York anymore. Right now, she's in Florida working. She has to go down there and work 2 weeks out of every month, and then she comes back. We're separated right now. We're going to be separated for another 14 days. She'll come back. We're going to spend about 10 days together. She's going to go right back. If you think for 1 second I'm going to get to Albany and forget about what they did for the last 2 years, you're crazy. It's not going to happen. No one is going to fight harder to get rid of every last mandate. No one's going to fight harder to make sure that they never get reintroduced. So, I know, I'm a Democrat. Y'all are going to have to get over it. You're going to have to start investigating people a little bit better and stop giving everyone a pass just because they're a Republican. You have to insist better from your elected leaders. Investigate, ask questions, find out where they stand on the issues. Thank you all very much for coming out. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'm just going to go. Ben is a Democrat. Don't stone him. Ben is an attorney who I met a couple years ago at the beginning of lockdown. He's an attorney. He's absolutely anti-mandate, anti-government overreach, anti-anything that we're anti.